as we say. And I think we mentioned before, warming up. Kim, so nice to see you in that tall chair this evening.
It's so much more comfortable.
Yes.
I don't love being squished.
You can
in
use that
one.
chair anytime, even when you're hosting.
Anytime you want.
Cool.
And what a beautiful sort of, what color is that, Bob?
Big Red is in the studio,
burnt
and it's
orange.
not Kim Lane.
Yeah.
Well, Kim, you know that we will talk about your guitar and other things a little bit later, but whatever you'd like to start us off with, we'd love to hear.
All right. This song just happened in about 30 minutes. So, yeah. There are no answers on the radio for me. The songs of my uncertain years left me behind. First love and heartbreak, dance moves I no longer make. The bands that I love stay alive on a rewind. They don't make music like they used to. I don't want them to. Wanna hear the complications that you walk through like I do. You don't have to stay pretty to sing about the journey. We know who you are. I wanna hear who you will be. I want the music of a whole lifetime. The bills and the kids, and the losses and the wins. The fears we never had when we were young. I wanna know where you're going. I know where we've been. They don't make music like they used to. I don't want them to. Wanna hear the complications that you walk through like I do. You don't have to stay pretty to sing about the journey. We know who you are. Wanna know who you will be. There are no answers on the radio. Do the bands that I love know how I fought sometimes? Do I have to stay pretty to hear all the journey? There are no more answers on rewind. There are no more answers for me on rewind. There are no answers on the radio. They don't make music like they used to, but I don't want them to.
Kim Lane live here on Pass the Hat, telling truth that I don't hear enough. They don't make music like they used to, and I don't want them to.
Yeah.
Kim, you said that one, that song was written pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And is that the norm for you?
It's about half and half.
Mm-hmm.
Songs come to me very quickly when they happen, but I don't always get to write them very quickly because I'm busy. I got a job and a kid, And so this one, I was able to write it really quickly because I had this line floating around in my head, there are no answers on the radio. For some reason, I just kept singing that. And then I got to thinking about the state of popular music when we're young. And according to brain science, I like reading about that, when we're about 25, we stop listening to new music, most of us. And it's interesting that the artists that we really love don't grow up with us, most of them. And I think of the older, like much older people who are still making new music. John Gorka, Paul Simon, who just came out with 7 Psalms. Natalie Merchant is always coming out with new stuff, but you never hear their music on popular radio. Glenn Hansard, like he's about my age, and they're not growing up with us. And it started to bug me.
Only because we're not letting them grow up with us, right?
Well, popular music is
the
not.
The media in general isn't letting us grow up with them.
Like the DJs or the program managers who are in charge of this. And so that's why I've always, like ever since I was a kid, I would just look for new music, and I will do the new whatever that a station or a service is showing.
Well, it's tough to challenge yourself like that, and I want to hear some new music because, you know, that song you heard when you were a little tipsy when you were 18 that was just speaking to you and it was your anthem, it sticks with you, and it's hard to find something that sticks with you very similar when you're just saying it at 40 or 50 or 60. Play me some new music.
Well, we are beneficiaries, Kim, of you bringing new music to the station, because in our first 30 minutes we've heard some great things that we've never heard before, and so we really appreciate that.
Oh, cool.
But we are here tonight to enjoy as much of your fine creativity because we're going to have some music and also perhaps, if we're lucky, some poems as well. But what do you have for us next?
This one also came quickly. There was a storm rolling through, and as it got away from my house, I felt the thunder in my feet. And that, again, I just started singing this line. And then I put together this whole thing that got me, I don't know, just got me to thinking. It's called From the Storm. When the storm rolls 20 miles away, and you feel the thunder in your feet, it's time to build a shelter from yourself. Where forgiveness and you shall meet. We are for seasons every day, steady and ruthless as the sun. We are the soft breeze and the gale. Somehow we've weathered everyone. Have you ever named yourself a hurricane? Looked into your own eye for sanctuary? Sometimes it's hard to be a cyclone. All this wreckage that we carry, all this wreckage that we carry. We are for seasons every day, steady and ruthless as the sun. We are the soft breeze and the gale. So far we've weathered everyone. It is a lifetime of heavy lifting to move the cover of our clouds. We shed the rain, there's sunlight in here somewhere. It's not when, but how. It's not when, but how. Look into your own eye, sanctuary. Look into your own eye for sanctuary.
Very nice.
Thanks.
Kim Lane, live here in the Pass the Hat studios.
Kim, the first two songs you said they happened fairly quickly, and there was a stimulus, a line, and then a storm. So after you get this initial spark, what happens that it turns into a song? How do you make that happen?
I will sing a line for days or minutes if it's happening quickly. And then if I don't have time to write it, I'll get my phone and I'll sing it into the voice recorder and hang on to it. And almost everything that I've done that for has turned into something at some point. And that's how I did this one. I just walked around the house singing that line. And then of course, you start thinking of all the other things. Like, we are very much like weather. And there are times when we kind of do want to get shelter from your own self. You just want to step out. I've had a year in which, for mostly physical reasons, I have wanted very much to step outside of my body and give it, like, pat it on the back, like it's going to be okay. Yeah, I feel that way sometimes.
What do they say about our bodies are 90% water? So you think that's why we're so hooked to the weather?
Tied into the storms?
Yes.
Yeah.
We had a storm at the farm 2 weeks ago, and like you said, we felt it in our feet.
Yeah.
And then we also felt it when we tried to turn on every electrical device in the house.
And nothing worked.
Nothing worked, but thanks to the kind repair people, and we're back online. I don't know, though. It was nice because we just, for a number of days, just sat out back porch. We had our dinner outside and had our drinks outside. And it was, it's kind of nice not being wired.
Yeah, no, I like it. I love using weather sparingly as a metaphor for who we are and how we act, because everyone can identify with it.
Now, we know you are also a well-known poet, and so when did was writing and poetry and journaling and things like that, was that first, or was music always sort of a parallel in this creative track you were on, or when did music enter your life in terms of you like playing guitar and writing songs?
I started playing guitar when I was, like 10, but not a lot. And I ended up playing flute and then piccolo, and then I picked up tenor sax because I was in the band. And I grew up in such small towns, and there was just no opportunity for a girl with a guitar.
So flute and piccolo, that must be similar fingering? And then is sax?
Nope, sax was totally different.
That's a whole new thing.
Nope, they needed someone to play
tenor sax is a big instrument.
It's big, and I loved it. It's so much fun. But my mother hated it, of course, because I had this horrific overbite. Like, I could eat pizza through a fence. It was not cute. And it makes it worse. Like, you've got a reed in your mouth, and it's not cute at all. So, was not crazy about that. But it wasn't even about playing music so much. I didn't play music a lot. I did musical theater for a bit. I did things like play Maria and Sound of Music and silly things like that, which I didn't love. I just did it. And I would go explore music, though. Like, I would live at the public library, and I would look for world music and jazz because I was not exposed to it. And so I'd go looking, and I also had a little shortwave radio, and I would wait till late at night, and I would listen to all these different languages and music. I had no idea what I was listening to, but I knew that there was...
But you knew the music.
Yeah, and I was, again, such small towns, no exposure to anything, no internet. And so that was it. Like, that was when I realized, oh, there's music everywhere. We're not the only ones.
So
That was
this
cool.
was, you were in the Midwest?
I was in Indiana for a short time, and then I grew up in Black Mountain, North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of music everywhere, the live stream is lighting up with people saying how wonderful your voice is, how much they love the
Aw,
songs that you're singing,
thanks.
which seems to me like this is a good time to hear another song.
When did you turn into Kirk?
Play us some more of that fine music,
What an
Kim Lane.
amazing resemblance you have there.
It's the segue we've all developed together.
Yeah. Well, if you're watching the live stream, you may, or if you follow my social media, you may know that I have, quote, let myself go. I'm no longer a redhead because, I mean, really, who was I fooling? Every 2 weeks there's this white line coming in. So I'm letting it go. And I started playing with that line, and I decided to write a song to celebrate the letting go of myself. This is the story of how my beauty ends. How once upon a time there was a woman who grew old, who lived to see her white light happily, and ever after she became the greatest story she ever told. I don't believe in royalty, but I will wear this crown. It's time to leave my hair alone. It's time to let my silver grow. Let it go. Let it flow. Let it go. I've gone from CBGBs to AARP. And can I get your number, Miss, to Mrs. Robinson? What happened to your makeup, baby Jane? Don't worry, I'll be fine. Like Nora Desmond. I don't believe in royalty, but I will wear this crown. It's time to let my silver grow. It's time to leave my hair alone. Let it go. Let it flow. Let it go. At times this life has been a fire. I am not the ashes, I am steel. I learned to catch and hold the light. I've been forged. I've been revealed. This is the story of how my beauty ends, of how I count my lucky stars that I have lived to see. The white light that I carry, that will carry me ever after. Ever after, happily. Let it go. Let it flow. let yourself go happily.
Hey, more Kim Lane live here in the studio. Kim, I think you mentioned passing reference to Sunset Boulevard in there with Nora Desmond.
Maybe, yep.
And I know you've had a song before about Hitchcock blondes. Mm-hmm. So you've got clearly you have an interest in old movies. And I'm wondering, is that a kind of a common source of inspiration for you, or what is your inspiration for writing songs? What makes you sit down and write a song?
I want to write songs that no one's heard before. I don't really write. I have written love songs and songs about the stuff that people write about. Mm-hmm. A little, but it's so much more interesting to me to write the songs that I wished I had when I was coming up. I wish I had heard songs by more women. Mm-hmm. I wish I heard songs that reassured me that all of this is okay, that I'm okay, that it's okay to let your beauty go away. Whatever little you have, like I don't walk around thinking like, ooh, great. But like, yeah, my beauty's gonna end, whatever little I have.
And I don't think so. I don't think it makes a difference whether you have red hair or not.
Well, I know. But you know what I mean? Like, I did that for a reason. I did that because it made me feel more physically. And so I address it in another song tonight, but I want to write about the things that no one's talking about. Not openly, anyway. So that's why I really admire people like Natalie Merchant, Jess Klein, who just came out with this amazing album of kick-ass songs about kick-ass women. There's not love songs in there. I mean, there might be one or two, but...
Yeah, there's that whole video she has where she's got boxing gloves on and she's beating up Mike June.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic song and a fantastic video, too.
Yeah, so that's why I write songs, is because that's what I need to say. And if someone wants to hear it, that is fantastic, but I want to hear it. I need to remind myself that I'm going to be okay.
Well, everybody, we are streaming our video this evening, and I know you're enjoying this as much as we are, our time here with Kim Lane. And Bob, tell people, because we have plenty of Kim to go, where they can catch the stream and jump in.
Whoop Ass the Hat. Look for us at Whoop Ass the Hat, WHUP, Pass the Hat, on your favorite streaming services, and I will tell you what your favorite streaming services are. They are YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And if you go out to YouTube and find Whoop Ass the Hat, or out to Facebook and find Whoop Ass the Hat, you will find this live stream, and you will find several years of live stream archives out there that you can avail yourself of. You know, when you've got nothing better to do, you can hear some fantastic music, you can see some fantastic music, lots of local music, and then Twitch out there for 2 weeks at a time, so you can see live at any given time. And Twitch is a fantastic platform for live music.
And in case you are driving, you should not be watching the video, but we have all of our audio here is on all of our wonderful shows at WHUP is recorded and archived for all time, WHUPFM.org. Click shows, scroll down to Pass the Hat, and we've been here going on 8 years. And thank you to our IT staff, and not just our show, but what do we got? Dozens, 30, 40, I don't know how many. We've got a bunch of shows here of all types
we're
at the
still
station.
The best.
Yes.
You know what's great about this station, too, is I wish I'd had a station like this when I was doing my music explorations where I didn't have to check it out from the public library. I listen to WHUP all the time on streaming because I get to hear and discover music I have never heard of.
Totally agree. That's something this station is very good at, is playing you music you've not heard before.
Well, including the show that precedes us, Tony, and Postmodern Cocktail Hour, and you have never heard a lot of that stuff, and it is very cool.
Oh, it's the best. One of my favorites.
I take it back. We are not the best show on radio. Postmodern Cocktail Hour is the
It
best show on
really
radio.
is one of my favorites. I love it so
we,
much.
we ride on Tony's coattails all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Kim, we alluded to your guitar, and it is a piece of beauty.
Thank you.
And beauty not just skin deep, but it sounds wonderful
Yeah.
too.
Thanks.
So, and we know you got that in probably the last 6 months or so. So, you went in and you were ready for a change of guitars, or you just happened to find yourself in a guitar shop, or how'd this come about?
No, I traded for this. I traded another Gretsch for this. It was a small one. So a couple of things happened. And again, with the vanity, I guess. When I decided to go with my hair, I really wanted something to hang on to that was that color. And I found this guitar. And also another thing happened. I began to become more confident and comfortable playing the guitar in front of people. And I wasn't so afraid for people to hear it. So I thought, well, I need to get a dreadnought.
You
I
get
didn't have
a
a
louder
dreadnought.
guitar now.
Yeah. And so this one is brighter and it has a big sound, and I'm not scared of it so much anymore because I do have performance anxiety. Performing in front of people makes me physically sick. And now it's like this helps a little bit because it's like, okay, maybe you don't suck.
Well,
All right.
Through my headphones, it sounds fantastic so
Well,
far.
thank you.
It has a real interesting pick-shaped sound hole.
I was noticing that.
Do all Gretsch guitars?
The Jumbo Rancher does. So this is called the Jumbo Rancher. And it's a really underrated, like Gretsch is just an underrated guitar. And I kind of hope they don't get overrated so the prices don't go up. But I love Gretsch. I love how they sound.
Well, Mary Johnson Rockers plays a similar guitar, only it's like
White.
white, yes,
Yeah.
and it's got the pick-shaped hole. And John
Yeah.
Stevens plays one that is a 12-string that's
Yep.
the same guitar, pick-shaped hole. So I think that's just a design thing that they go with,
Yeah,
and
it's
it
something
works.
that they do.
Very cool. Well, Kim, you know how things work here, that we have to do a little business at the top of the hour, but we have time for one song or one poem before we reach the
Yeah,
top.
Well,
do you
then
have
let's
a-
talk about what happens when you do decide as a lady of a certain age to let your hair go. People start looking at you and then they stop looking at you. So here we go. Time is a magician with a warning for me. I giveth, I can make you disappear. Abracadabra, nothing in my hands cuts you in half when the saw gets too near. The days of the cat call are fading. Days of hearing nothing but hey baby. Time to enjoy the sound of my name. I have become the disappearing lady. Time is a magician, sliding cards up my sleeve. My hands are getting quicker than the lie. Abracadabra, I'm the apprentice. Hocus pocus, you're in for a surprise. Prepare to be amazed as I reclaim my time. I was the rabbit, now I'm the hat. I've never held the handle of a saw, but today I pulled its jagged teeth from my back. Time is a magician, never fails to escape. Sleight of hand, ta-da, it's still deceit. Time threw the knife and missed me. Time is the only bullet I've caught between my teeth. Time threw the knife and missed me. He thought I was a rabbit. I became the hat. Time is the only bullet I caught between my teeth. Time, I caught your bullet between my teeth.
Kim Lane live here in the studio and not invisible from where we sit.
Everybody, we are WHUP LP Hillsboro. The show is Pass the Hat, and we are so fortunate, Bob, to have an Hour 2 sponsor.
That's right. Support for this second hour of Pass the Hat is sweetly provided by Matthew's Chocolates, 104 North Churton Street, Hillsboro,
Ta-da!
North Carolina, the finest in chocolate and chocolate accessories for all of your chocolate needs. And let's face it, we all have chocolate needs. Matthews makes a fantastic variety of chocolates, anything you want or need, and especially good at special orders. Talk to Matthew, find out what you want. He will make it for you, and it will be awesome. We don't know what's in the box. We're pretty sure there's a variety of chocolates in there. I'm pretty
It's
sure.
the things I like.
Pretty sure there's at least one marshmallow.
And the
And the
potato
urchin.
thing, the
Yeah,
urchin.
the urchins.
And the mangoes. I really love the chocolate-covered mangoes.
They're
Those are
so good.
I call it the squishy chocolate. I know that's not what he calls it, but he has some ready for
Actually,
me all the
he
time.
does now.
Oh, does he really?
Because of
Oh,
you.
No.
Because of you. He says,
so
oh,
sorry.
she likes the squishy chocolate, doesn't she?
Squishy chocolate.
I don't love fruit, but I like the chocolate-covered fruit that he makes.
Well, he is a master at blending flavors.
Yeah.
So whatever, candied fruit that he gets in, he'll taste it and he'll hang back in the lab and kind of come up with something that properly goes with that fruit texture and that fruit flavor, and it just
Yeah.
comes up with wonderful things.
Yeah,
Y'all,
it does.
Matthew's Chocolates, get out there, enjoy it. Say hey to Matthew.
Yeah.
Well, Kim Lane, we have mentioned that you're a very fine poet, and so writing poetry versus writing songs, is that process similar? Is it entirely different? Talk to us about that.
The thing about writing poems for me is that honestly, I'm more likely to perform them in front of people because I did it for so long. I was a professional poet, and I know everyone out there is laughing. Stop laughing. It's a thing. There are people who I traveled around the world and I performed and did residencies. So when I write poetry, it's always with the assumption that someone is going to hear it. And so I almost feel like I'm a little bit bolder when I do poems because I know that audience is ready for something really original. And when I'm writing songs, I feel restricted. Rhyming, form, time, stuff like that. So it's harder.
I have to admit that I have seen you perform poetry and seen you perform music, and you do seem more open and animated and liberated when you're performing your poetry.
Well, because I'm not holding a guitar.
You're not hiding behind Big Red.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so that's a thing.
Some people, perhaps many people, have heard of poetry slams but have no idea what that is. What is that?
Poetry slams are a competitive recitation, if you will, in which poets have 3 minutes to do a poem and are judged from 0 to 10 using decimal points.
By the audience?
By just random members of the audience who are selected ahead of time, and you're scored like Olympic diving.
Yeah, that's tough.
When you
And-
said slam, I thought it was going to be like wrestling.
Well, it's a lot like sumo wrestling.
Yes.
Boom.
Boom.
But no props, no background music, nothing like that. And it's just, and now, like when I first started doing it, no one knew who it was. It was not in the culture. Well, now there have been movies about it, and it's very much in the zeitgeist.
It's everywhere. And if y'all have a slam poetry event anywhere near you, go to it. I've been to several, and I did not expect to cry, and they made me cry.
Yeah.
And I'm not a crier.
So I do have something for you, Bob. You always ask people, where can they see you next? And I actually would like not for people to see me. I would like, don't find my web. Don't do that. But I will be performing at Leaf in Black Mountain.
Well,
at
that's
Lake
just
Eden.
about 3 weeks from now, right?
Yep. I'll be performing as part of a poetry showcase during Leaf. And that's like, it's huge. It's, God, there's got to be 300 or 400 people there. It's, yeah. It's
So
nice.
tell people, what is Leaf?
Leaf is the Lake Eden Arts Festival.
Okay.
It is its 26, well, it's in its 51st, 52nd festival now. And it's a world music, poetry, dance festival. It's fantastic. It's where I grew up.
Yep, it is a wonderful little festival. Well, actually, it's a wonderful little town. It's a big festival.
It's a big festival, yeah. But that's where I'll be. I do hope to get out more. I've had a rough year. Like, we had to reschedule this because I've been sick all year. So feeling better. That's nice. I'll be out again.
So do you have a song about food poisoning?
Maybe at another time. No, you know what? I'm going to change my mind about one. I have another. Yeah, I have another new one. I do have a list. I do have a song about that, actually. Kind of.
Really?
Yeah.
All
It
right.
wasn't about the food poisoning. It was about the other thing I was sick with. So, yeah, I'll do that one. I made a list of all that I survived. I lived through me, I lived through you, and I don't regret a moment I spent inside that school. I've outlived my body, oh, I'm hanging on to my mind. And I left that white surrender flag where the sun don't shine. Sometimes I forget all that I survived. So I pray at the altar of my luck. I kneel at every close call, at inches from disaster, at every step I took before the lightning struck. Our bodies are a battleground of give up or go on. So I get my ass up when I'm down and keep on keeping on. I keep a list of all that I survived. I can't change how it started, so you can place your bets that I won't regret the moments. I'll spend every moment taking the bitter out of the end. I won't get a moment, I'll spend every moment taking the bitter out of the end. Thank you.
Kim, we know, and a lot of people know and respect so much that you're a professional educator. I was thinking recently that we say thank you for your service to the military, and we should. You know, they perform a great service to us, but we don't say that to firemen, and we don't say that to professional educators. So, Kim, thank you for your service.
Oh, well, thank you.
Amen.
And we know that you bring creativity into the schools. I personally believe we need to have a lot less structured, rigorous, standardized curriculum and a lot more creative opportunities and activities and team building and things like that in the schools. So can you share with us a little bit about how you use your sense of creativity and inspire that in your students?
Oh, gosh. Well, I try to model it. I try to model it every day. It's like in the lesson plan, you can infuse whatever things. For example, I led some lessons this week that weren't on the computer. And nowadays, that's radical.
What is that?
I know, it's radical to pull the kids off the computers. And I had them doing what's called a Kohlberg's moral dilemma. I had sixth graders dealing with moral dilemmas, like who gets the kidney? And as a gifted education specialist, I have that privilege where I get to give kids these challenging problems to do. But mostly, I try to model it by coming up with creative solutions to problems and by living joyfully and not being on my phone all the time. And kids nowadays, they need that. They need someone to make eye contact and use the phone instead of the computer.
What do you do with a youngster who is, for lack of a better word, shy about expressing themselves? And how do you encourage that? It's because creativity can be very personal.
Mm-hmm. I start with small pieces of paper. Sometimes an 8x11 sheet of paper or a screen is too big and it's scary. And so I'll give them a note card and I'll say, here's a prompt, and I really guide it because open-ended creativity is really hard for kids. And so I'll give them a choice of prompts, and if they can come up with something to fill up some of that card, they're often able to move into the next step of being creative. I also don't make them share it, because that is really scary.
That's good. That's very good.
Open-ended creativity itself is scary.
Mm-hmm.
It's just this big monster, and you don't know what to do with it. So it helps to have someone modeling it for you. Here's how I do it.
I also let them watch me goof up. Like I
Right.
work on new songs in front of the kids. I keep a guitar in my room,
Mm-hmm.
and I let them watch me fail. And when I'm wrong, if I make a mistake with the kids, I say I'm sorry. I say it in front of them. If I get a name wrong, I always say I'm sorry.
And fail
That's
might
part
not
of it.
might not even be the right word. Getting something wrong is not necessarily failing.
No, but kids still need to see that. They need
Oh,
to
yeah,
see
yeah.
adults being humble, and they need to see that creativity is messy. And I let them see that I am not a finished product. I'm not particularly good at many things, at least when I first start them. So I let them see that.
The phrase is "still waters run deep." It must be a thrill when you have a student, maybe a new one, who you don't, and they're very shy and
Mm-hmm.
guarded and things, to see that spark and see it open up and say, well, whoa, this youngster has something very special.
Yeah, I do enjoy that. And I've had some kids that I've had some kids do really well, Hollywood, and I've got some right now that I'm kind of wondering what kind of writer are they going to be or creative person. It's exciting.
Well, we want to get as much music in the time we have left, so it's been fascinating hearing about your experiences in the classroom, but how about another song?
Okay. As with many things, I don't do covers very much. I don't love doing them. I'm kind of boring. But if I can do a cover in a way that no one heard it before or on an instrument, like I'll go looking for YouTube, does this exist? And the answer for this one is mostly no. No, rien, rien. No, je ne regrette rien. Ni le bien qu'on me fait, ni le mal. Tout ça m'est bien égal. No, rien, rien. No, je ne regrette rien. C'est paillé, balayé, oublié. Je me fous du passé. Avec mes souvenirs, j'ai allumé le feu. Mes chagrins, mes plaisirs, je n'ai plus besoin de balayer les amours avec tout leur tremolo, balayer pour toujours. Je repars à zéro. No, no regrets. No, no, I will have no regrets. Neither the kindness I've received, nor sorrows grieved. I've forgotten the past. Oh no, no regrets. No, no, I will have no regrets. For my life and my joys, and today it begins here with you. No, no regrets. No, je ne regrette rien. Thank you.
I bet half our audience doesn't even know who Edith Piaf is.
Oh, I bet a bunch of them do. We got a pretty savvy audience.
A bunch, maybe half.
Okay. Yeah, that was a famous Edith Piaf song, and it is one of my favorites, but as you know, I have a problem with trumpets. And there are so many trumpets in that song. It's just this big, overblown blah of
You know what they do
trumpets.
for people who are afraid of flying is they make them fly. Maybe we just need trumpets in the studio.
So, Bob, for the holidays, we could get Kim a record of a mariachi band. I know she would love that.
I'm hearing a Ring of Fire now in my head.
Herb Alpert.
Yeah, I'd never heard that song acoustic, and I went looking on YouTube, and I found one or two, and they were just people sitting around, and it wasn't professionally done, and I thought, well, I think I'll do this.
And you did it, and it worked.
Oh, well, thanks. I love the song, but I really hate that version. It's so loud. It's just so loud. I can't.
Well, you know, they could put mutes in the trumpets, and it's kind of...
Yeah, that would help a lot.
I would really like to write songs in French. I'm getting to maybe I'm being brave enough to do that. I would have to do it with someone because I would want someone to check me. I don't want to call someone names. I don't want to say something really gross.
Yeah, and that's the challenge of doing poetry or lyrics in another language is all the metaphors and similes that you might not pick up on in the spoken language. It's got to be tough.
Yeah, and I rely a lot on metaphor in my writing. So yeah, it would get messy.
Speaking of messy,
What is Bob doing?
Well, that is...
Does he want me to eat the chocolate now? Is that... I'm so confused.
You
Yes.
opened that door, Bob, so walk on through.
Strange.
eat the chocolate and play us a song.
Okay, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to rest that song. When I do finger pick, it hurts my fingers.
Fair.
So I'm actually going to do the latest poem that was published.
Great.
Can you do it without the guitar in your hand? Do you need to put it down in the?
You know what? That would be
In the stand?
awesome. That would be super cool.
We provide stands just for this purpose.
Well, thanks. Because everyone's in here rolling in here with poetry.
Right?
Okay. Now I'm going to give what do they call it, a trigger warning for people who, now you know what? You're not getting one. You're just going to get the poem. All right. This is a chick poem, and it was published in a literary magazine called Hags on Fire, which is a literary magazine dedicated to the issues of women in midlife and aging. So use your imagination. This is called The Measure of. 9 visits out of 10, the first question is not, how are you? How do you feel? Where does it hurt? The question is, and ladies, say it with me, when was the date of your last period? The answer is always, I'm sorry, I don't remember. But Noah built an ark, and I saved my family and 3 cats from the flood. I'm still mad they skipped that part. My origin story is missing from the chart. It was then I learned the measure of a woman is blood. Her first ride on its first wave. We are born when the tide returns after 9 months of absence. Behold, she's back. From woman to vessel to woman again. We are measured as women in the years of flow. We count as women when we flow. We are visible to the naked eye on a background of red until we ebb, fade, evaporate. Because how do we measure her now? As my daughter was pulled from me, the darkness closed in. I heard 2 sounds, her crying and the doctor. The doctor. We have to stop the bleeding. 5 hours, 5 transfusions. I was born again, this time a mother. I have survived to unspeak the message I received at 12 years old. You're a woman now. Keep a calendar, hide the evidence. No one wants to see that. But the doctor will see you now. Everyone will see you now. I was the earth that opened to swallow those words whole. My daughter is the steadfast river who will wash them away. We love blood. Pulled out by force. We slow traffic for miles. See how it stains the highway? We stay up late to watch it flow. We are expert in countless ways to loosen the grip of blood from its heart to the floor. Fake blood is worth millions at the box office. Our credit cards keep the real stuff streaming. We can't get enough, even amid all this plenty, all these women, all of you, all of us, month after month. We hide the evidence that we are ancient, older than the bloodied blades and bullets. We are the flow and the ebb. We built oceans while you looked away, and on the date of my last period, I sailed away on a raft of everything else you failed to measure. Is everyone okay?
I don't think applause is appropriate, but
No, it's fine.
what do you do in a slam? You click your fingers?
Yeah, you can snap your, but people clap. They get all fired up.
No comment.
I've got nothing to say. That was
It was powerful.
beautiful and powerful, and
Troubling.
I mean, I
have so many
guess.
things to say that I'm not going to say.
Well, no, it's okay. You can say one of the things. Pick one and say it.
The thing that was going through my head as you were going through that, and I've heard this piece before.
Right.
The thing that was going through my head is blood, or the drawing of blood in popular culture, is a very masculine thing.
Yep.
In all of media, all the good guys and bad guys going out there and bleeding, cutting people up, shooting people up, everything, and you kind of turn that on its head.
Yes.
And you take ownership of blood by the feminine, and I think that's it's a powerful thing.
Thank you.
And
right.
thank goodness you have your guitar back in your lap, and maybe you're going to play us a song and save me from this.
Okay. Again, we do one other cover. Do you guys listen to Mose Allison?
I think I've heard a Mose Allison song.
Really? I know. I'm surprised about that. How about you, Kirk?
I'm sure that I have, but I couldn't summon one up now. But I believe I'm about to hear one.
Okay,
Right
yeah.
now.
Again.
Honestly, I think we've both heard it because of you, Kim Lane.
Okay.
Because you bring in playlists for us.
Okay. Well, then, Mose Allison passed away a year or two ago, and it is one of my great regrets in life that I never got to see him. He was a magnificent jazz pianist. I'm going to note that he was a white guy. I think it's really important for us to know stuff like that because jazz is very much part of the African American community. But he's a New Orleans guy, jazz pianist, and boy, do I love him. And I've never seen his work done on acoustic guitar. So again, I was like, well, why not? Okay. If this life is driving you to drink, you sit around wondering just what to think. I got some consolation, I'll give it to you if I might. Well, I don't worry about a thing, 'cause I know nothing's gonna be alright. You know this world is just one big trouble spot. Some have plenty and some have not. You know I used to be trouble, but I finally saw the light. Now I don't worry about a thing, 'cause I know nothing's gonna be alright. Don't waste your time trying to be a go-getter. Things will get worse before they get any better. You know there's always somebody playing with dynamite. I don't worry about a thing, 'cause I know nothing's gonna be alright. I don't worry about a thing, 'cause I know nothing's gonna be alright. Because it's not. No, it will. It'll be fine.
Everything's going to be fine. Glenn Jones, Mose Allison fan.
Okay, that doesn't surprise me.
Does not surprise anybody.
Yeah, I really love him. And I hope I'm not being sacrilegious when I goof around with his songs.
Oh, I think everyone, even Mose Allison, totally approves or would approve.
Okay.
That's what music is for playing around with.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I really like jazz. And I've always really liked jazz. Kind of that left of center stuff. Gregory Porter, we were talking about him.
Yep.
He was on the playlist earlier. I love Mose Allison. I listen to him for hours.
Well, Kim Lane, we have had a fantastic hour of you live here in the studio, and we've got time for one quick song. If you'd like to play one more just to play us out.
All right.
And y'all have been listening to Kim Lane live here on Pass the Hat. Don't go away at the end of this song when we're going to turn off the live stream, because we've got another half hour of a playlist that Kim Lane brought in to play for you.
Full of more things you've never heard of. All right. Since you mentioned Nora Desmond.
Oh, here we go.
Mr. DeMille, I'm ready for my close-up. Ready for my return. Not a comeback. You know I hate that word. I'm still big. It's the pictures that got small. My face is still worth something, and I never had to talk. I'm still Norma, living in my silence. I'm still Norma, and I was someone. It's warm under the spotlight where you loved me. It's warm under the spotlight where you loved me. Mr. DeMille, my life has been a close-up. How will you find me in Technicolor and all this sound? I've lost all of my vision to hindsight. I've lost all of my vision hindsight. I'm still big. It's the pictures that got small. My face has lost that something. Can you finally hear me? Do I have a voice at all? Miss Desmond, get ready for your close-up. Look into your own eyes. See what they have to say. Touch your face and read between the lines. Look away from the spotlight. Look away from the hindsight. And hear your voice today. Hear that, ladies? Let yourself go.
Fantastic. Well, dear listeners, you have spent a fantastic hour listening to and watching on the live stream Kim Lane, Pass the Hat co-host and fantastic poet and singer-songwriter.
Well,
Kim,
thanks, guys.
it is time for you to wave goodbye to the live stream. And y'all, again, watching the live stream, you can continue listening to us on WHUP FM 104.7. Find us also on the TuneIn app and at WHUPFM.org, because we're going to be ending the live stream, but the show does not end. The music keeps going with a... I'm trying to do too many things at once. With a...
What's the first song I've got up? I forgot.
with a playlist that Kim Lane has provided for us. Kim, wave goodbye, please.
Okay, goodbye. Thank you all for watching.